I'm Pastor Rick, and this is Straight Talk on Scripture. Thank you for joining me. I've got a principle that I know is going to bless you. In Philippians 1, it says, "He who has begun a good work in you will complete it." And so we know that God is faithful, and He is going to finish what He started in all of us. But this is the principle I want to talk about today. And this is it. When you honor God, when you love Him, when you've made room for Him in your life, even though things may not be great now, God will always return to the place where He's been honored. And I have two stories to illustrate this. The first is with Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. They were friends of Jesus. They loved Him. They made room for Him in their lives. And at the point of crisis where they really needed Jesus, we know that Lazarus gets sick and he dies. Jesus returns and raises Lazarus from the dead. And, I'm sure that they were glad that they had made room for Jesus in their lives, because where He had been honored, He came again. Now, the second story is from the Old Testament, and it's in Genesis 18:14, and it's about Abraham and Sarah, who were friends of God. In fact, God calls Abraham a friend of God. And what happened is God promised them that they were going to have a child. Now they're old, way too old to have a child. And what we see is that God comes to them, and Sarah actually laughs at the thought of her having a baby because she's so old. God says, "Why did you laugh?" He said in 14, He says, "Is there anything too hard for the Lord? I will come and visit you this time next year, and you will have a son." So what we see is, because Abraham and Sarah honored God, they were friends of God, they made room for Him, what we see is that God visited them again and gave them a miracle. He gave them the son of promise, Isaac. Now, this is what I want you to know and understand. Maybe you're in a place in your life where you knew God at one point, where you made room for Him in your life, where you loved Him, but you've fallen on difficult times. Maybe right now you don't even think God cares about you or remembers you. Nothing could be further from the truth. If at some point in your life you loved Jesus, you made room for Him in your life, you honored Him, He will always return to you and finish what He started. And so I want to give all of you hope, because He will never forget you. He will never do that. He will always come back to those who loved Him and showed Him honor and made room for them in their lives. Well, this is just something to think about. I'm Pastor Rick. Remember, with Jesus, there's always hope, there's always love. God bless you. I'll see you soon.